sometimes it takes more than one conversion factor to complete a conversion. For example, we have 2 weeks converting into minutes. To demonstrate this, we would start off with 2 weeks. Make my pen a little smaller. It's so big. Let's see, 2 weeks. Put that over 1. And now we're going to start to convert. Some facts you might just need to know, like in 1 week, there are 7 days. And then in 1 day, there are 24 hours. And in 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. Now, if we take a look at how I've arranged these conversion factors, we were in weeks. I was able to reduce the weeks. That got me into days. And then reduce the days. Now we're in hours. And finally reduce the hours. And the only unit left is minutes, which is what we're trying to find. All that's left now is to work on our calculator. So I have a calculator that I can show the keystrokes. So we have 2. Everything's on top, so this will all be multiply. Multiply by 7, multiply by 24, and multiply by 60. And we get 20,160. So that is 20,160, and the units minutes. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and work out problem 6. The correct answer you should get, 31,536,000 seconds. Now, next question, number 7, we see that sometimes we need to convert a rate. And now what's special about a rate is if we look at like 25 miles per hour, that, although the units are written miles per hour, that's actually already a fraction. So unlike our previous problems where we started by putting it over 1, we can put this over a unit. Let me demonstrate. So we have 25 miles. Now the word per is actually division per hour. We can write 1 hour if we'd like, or we can just write the hours. So we already have a fraction. Since there's a numerator and a denominator, we need to choose which one we're converting first. So for example, if I want to convert the miles, I need a conversion with miles in the denominator so I can reduce the miles that are in the numerator. And looking at the table, you will see that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So we have converted the numerator to feet. That's what we want. We need the denominator converted to seconds. So now we work, and we can account for the new units as we go along or all at once at the end. That's up to you. For hours, so I have hours in the denominator. I need something with hours in the numerator, and I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. That converts our units. Currently, if we work the numbers out, we'd be in feet per minute. They want feet per second. We're not quite done. So let's convert. For minutes, I know 1 minute. I'm placing the minute on top so it reduces the other minute on bottom. 1 minute is 60 seconds. Now we end up with the units. Feet per second. That's what we want. Now to calculator question. So, pulling over our calculator, to work this out in your calculator, if it's in the numerator, you either start with it, like the 25, or you multiply. So like multiply by 5,280. The next one has a 1 in the numerator. Multiplying by 1 doesn't change the value, so we don't need to do that. But it does have a divide by 60. If it's in the denominator, make sure you precede it with the division sign. Divide by 60. The next fraction is again a 60 in the denominator, so precede it with the division sign. Divide by 60. So everything in the denominator should have a divide before it. Everything in the numerator should have a multiply before it, except for, of course, the first number that doesn't have anything before it. This will give us a number that goes on forever. Now it's time to look for any kind of rounding rules. So in this case, it says round to the nearest tenth. So we need to go to 1 decimal place. And so we have the 0.6. The next number after that is a 6, which is larger than 5 or larger. So our 0.66 will round to 0.7. So we have 36.7. For the units, we have feet per second. We might as well, we can write it feet per second. That's fine. Or we could write it with English feet per second. And I want to take away the equal sign and change it to an approximation symbol, because this is actually not the true equivalent to 25 miles an hour, but it is a 1 decimal approximation. Okay, your turn. Pause the video and work out problem number 8. For number 8, you should end up with rounding to the nearest hundredth, 1.11 meters per second. All right, last question on this page. We can also use unit conversions to solve some of the applications. So in this example, we're given that it takes a driver on average 1.2 seconds from seeing should be an obstacle to reacting by applying the brakes to stop or swerve. How far will a car moving at 33 miles per hour in a residential neighborhood travel in feet before a driver reacts to an obstacle? So how far, if they're driving 33 miles an hour, will they travel in 1.2 seconds? Now here we have the keyword per. This is a unit conversion, so this will be something that we multiply by. What we're trying to figure out is, what do we start with? There's only one other number in here, so this is really a no-brainer, but let's go ahead and start with the 1.2 seconds. 1.2 seconds. I'm going to put it over 1, and now we convert. We have a conversion that goes between miles and hours. We have a time, seconds. If I can get this time into hours, I can use the conversion factor here to get us into a distance, miles. So that's where I'm headed. Starting with seconds. I need seconds in the denominator to reduce these, and the fact is 60 seconds in 1 minute. Now I'm in minutes. I need minutes in the denominator, and I know that 60 minutes is 1 hour. Now we're in hours. Now I can use this conversion factor. The hour in the denominator, 1 hour per hour, and 33 miles. We've now converted from a time frame into a distance. That obviously depends on how fast you're moving. So this unit conversion is one that is specific to this question. It's not a universal one. It's specific to this question. But for this question, it works great. Now we're in miles. We're trying to get to in feet. So we need miles in the denominator, 1 mile, and 5,280 feet. Now the only unit left over is feet, and this should give us our final answer. Oh, back to our calculator. 1.2, we'll start with that. The next number is in the denominator, so divide 60. The next one has a 60 in the denominator, so another divide 60. The next one is in the numerator, so it times 33. and the last one's in the numerator, times 5280. We end up with 5808. Does it have any rounding rules? It does not. So we'll give the full value, 58.08 feet. Okay,